So here's the list of things to do for today. Let me just sort this out. There, that's perfect. Oh, the printer cover looks a little off. There, sorted that. Let's get some water. Okay, let's get started. Let me just find the perfect music to play in the background.
One hour later.
Okay, let me just get a cup of tea and then get started. Herbal tea ready, AC set to perfect temperature, notification silenced, Pomodoro started. Let's get cracking. Hi! Yeah! No. Yeah. Yeah, it's been so long.
Much later.
Okay, bye. I just need a refresher. And then I'll start working. Let me just watch one video.
346 minutes later.
How can I possibly finish all of this now? Okay, look, this plan is no longer perfect. Let me just make another plan for today. There, that's better.
"12 seconds later.
I feel like poop. I hate myself. I just want things to be perfect and I haven't been able to do anything. There's no point in doing anything today. I'll make sure tomorrow is perfect and that's when I'll start working on this list. That skit that you just saw wasn't just like some fun thing I had written for the sake of this video. That was my reality for a very long time. That was the sad life that I was living, wanting to be perfect all the time. You see, I wasn't ready to accept life as it was happening. I wanted things to be perfect. I wanted to be perfect. And I was so blinded by this concept of perfectionism that I couldn't even see that I was rejecting reality. If a day did not go exactly according to my plan, if I wasn't being the most productive, the most amazing person, I would rapidly start losing any enthusiasm I had for that day and would start procrastinating. I would sit reeling in self-disappointment and watch endless videos on the internet instead of getting to work. Talking about perfectionism, one of the questions that I get asked most frequently is, how do I start speaking in English? I'm not perfect, how do I get started? And that is why I thought it would be apt to partner with Cambly in this video. Cambly is the only app in India that provides one-on-one private English classes with tutors from the USA, Canada, UK, etc. It is especially useful for those who know how to read and write but struggle in speaking English confidently. You can choose from various courses like Business English, IELTS, Personality Development, etc. I wanted to check Cambly out myself and that's what I did.
Hello.
Hi Maria.
As a student on Cambly, you can do many different things, okay? So let's begin with one of the first options, which is a lesson that is provided by Cambly. All right, so let's begin.
Tutors on Cambly are friendly and supportive and they'll help you work on your weak areas without any judgment. You can download the Cambly app using the link in the description and make sure to use the code ANITAB to get a 22% discount off of any 3-month plan. Perfectionism is the unrealistic and often unhealthy need to appear or be perfect, whether when doing certain tasks or in life in general. A perfectionist is someone who strives towards achieving flawlessness and in this process ends up being overly critical of themselves and others. chasing this unreal concept of perfectionism was like totally killing my vibe. It got to a crippling point where I couldn't even start simple tasks because the idea of perfectionism would be hanging heavily on my head. If I had to unpack some boxes or clean my closet, but felt like I didn't have enough time and energy to get it just right, to do it just perfectly, I wouldn't even get started. I chose to live with the mess instead. One can only imagine the kind of effect this was beginning to have on my daily productivity levels. The perfection mindset is the biggest enemy of productivity. In my mind, each task had become so intense that I simply did not have the energy to carry forward. It was exhausting. Let's take a moment to imagine the situation, right? Someone, me, who had built up this self-image of being very productive all the time, me, had come to a point where she couldn't even do simple tasks because of trying to be perfect. The perfection mindset often leads to self-disappointment. These are very common traits of the perfectionist. Being very hard on oneself, not able to accept small setbacks, not allocating enough time to complete tasks, and expecting to complete tasks within an unreasonably small amount of time. But the biggest trait of them all is not being able to let go. The biggest trait of a perfectionist, unable to just let go. This trait of being unable to let go dwells very deep in our minds, and it can manifest itself in very subtle ways. The constant need to control, planning to the T and getting upset if things don't go according to plan. So, how do we let go? Try and notice the next time that you're wanting to be perfect. You may notice that maybe your muscles are a little tight, your jaw a little clenched. Physical manifestations of the mental state. So, unclench your jaw and relax. Take a deep breath in. And I do this, it's a little funny, it's a little weird, but it works. I do this. Open up your fist and say, I am letting it go. It's okay, I am letting it go and that's okay. I am bigger than this one task and I am letting this go. Perfectionism is a deep-rooted pattern of the mind. And the best way to break such patterns is to meditate. I've spoken at length in another video about how meditation has changed my life, and I'll link that video down below in the description. The moment you realize that you're so much bigger than just a perfect task, it becomes difficult to remain a perfectionist. Can't I just be? Is it so important to be productive all the time, or else my life becomes meaningless? Is it so important to be perfect all the time, or else my life becomes meaningless? That perfectionism mindset is getting you nowhere, my friend. That unfinished project, that unfinished video you never made, that unfinished story you never wrote because you were too afraid that it wasn't going to be perfect. The world is never going to see that video. The world is never going to read that story. The world will never benefit from it because you were too afraid to take it to completion. I did some deep introspection. I really looked inward and questioned myself. Why am I doing this to myself? I knew that my perfectionism was crippling me. I knew that the consequent procrastination was crippling me. But why wasn't I able to break out of that pattern? A few questions came up. Did I dislike myself at some level and that's why I was self-sabotaging behind this wheel of perfectionism? But then I heard a voice from inside and the voice said, no, that's not it. Well then, was I afraid of failure? The voice spoke again and said, no, that isn't it either. And then a very weird question came up. Was I afraid of success? I waited for that voice to speak again, but then nothing came up. Maybe I was afraid of success. And that's why I wasn't living my best life. Very weird, but I'm sharing this incredibly personal piece of information with you because it took me a very long time, many years, to even come to the point where I was able to ask myself these questions. And I'm sharing this with you hoping that maybe it'll save you some time. Is it just me or is it getting hot in here? Time for some water. Look, my friend, don't let the past define you. Oh, because I didn't work for 2 hours, I'm useless and I cannot work for the rest of the day. Each moment is fresh. This moment is not tainted by the past. You can start now. Don't let the future define you either. Oh, I can't make it perfect. Oh, someone is going to judge me in the future. Each moment is fresh. This moment is not defined by the future. So just do what you can this moment. And once you do that something, just drop it. Do not taint it with your own concepts. It is what it is. And that's it. End of story. Perfection is a myth, and the sooner we realize this truth, the more life we live. We were not born to be perfect, my friend. We were born to live. Damn, that was deep. Anyway, this is one of those topics that I really want to know your opinions about. So if you have something to say about this, please leave a comment below. Thank you for being here. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.